Thank you for joining today on Rise Expert Interviews. Today we're with Jenny Pena, who is an expert in essential oils. She's also a doula and baby massage therapist. I'm Yasmin from Rise Birth Center. Thank you for joining me today. I am here with Jenny, and she will be talking to us about essential oils. Jenny, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into oils?
Yes, thank you for inviting me. My name is Jenny Pena. I'm currently living in Thailand, but I'm from the US and Colombian roots. And yeah, I got into essential oils because of my husband. He's a little bit of a health guru. So just following his instructions and what he was all about, I got into what he was doing. And that was 8 years ago when my first daughter was 4 months old. I've just been learning and doing my own readings and research and reading up on everybody's testimonials and books that I can get. And using them and experiencing myself, I think firsthand has given me a lot of wisdom on how to use them as well. So it's just become a passion, I guess, throughout the years to be able to share them and talk about them with people.
Great. And I remember reading in Birthing with Heart that you had very sensitive skin. And so that was how you were able to tell whether they were good or not good and something like that. Is that right?
Sensitive smell, and yes, sensitive skin, but not so much as far as using the oils, but using things that don't have good natural ingredients. So I would get itchy skin, but more than anything, it was my sense of smell, that just smelling fragrances and colognes, like my parents, and growing up in the car, especially with them, having cologne and perfume. And I used to clean houses with my mom and just using toxic cleaners and things like that. It was just very harsh on my nose and my sinus, and it would just make me nauseous and headaches and migraines. And that's the main reason I didn't want to use essential oils. And so even though I was kind of following my husband's lead, at the same time I was very skeptical and not all the way ready to jump in with him. And he even bought a few that just triggered the nausea and motion sickness. He looked more into which are the good ones and how to tell if they're pure and things like that. Well, he's a biology teacher, so he's very into that type of research, I guess.
Anyway. Oh, how interesting. Okay, so you really didn't like the idea, and now here you are as an expert in it. That's amazing. All right.
Yeah, it was kind of thrown at me. I didn't know that was what I was going to be doing. I thought I would just help women and help mothers because of home birth and all this other things that I was experiencing, that I could just throw in the oils as well as with herbs and other things that I'm into. But more and more people started coming to me just about the oils. And so I was like, okay, let me pursue this a little bit and see where it'll go.
Sure, and sharing it more. Yeah, great. So can you tell us just if somebody's not really aware, they've heard the name essential oil, but they don't know what it's about or what it's for, can you kind of give a brief over this world of yours?
Okay, I understand how people can be skeptical and see there's so much contradictory information and not even know what to do, or just be like, oh, or think they're all the same, so they go to whatever store and grab a bottle off the shelf and it doesn't work, or it makes things worse, or they have no idea what they're doing, because not all oils are made the same and not the same care is put into making them. So essential oils, basically, you can compare it to the lifeblood of the plant. So the same way that our blood carries nutrients and minerals and oxygen through our body, the essential oil is doing the same in the plant. So
okay, that's a nice way to think of it.
And each plant, because another question that I get is how much does the oils cost? And I'm like, well, they each have a different price. You can't say lemon is going to cost the same as sandalwood or frankincense, because lemon is abundant and easy to distill, And frankincense is not an easy plant to distill and get the oils from. So that's why it varies. So you can't think that you're going to go to the store and get a $5 oil off the shelf or 25 dirham oil off the shelf and think that it's going to work the same as this one that's maybe 100 dirhams or $50 or $30.
Well, how would people know which
Um,
ones are pure or not pure? Because you're able to tell just because it will make you nauseous. But for what should the rest of us do? How do we know where to go?
well, well, definitely look online and ask around aromatherapists or other essential oilers, like people that have been using them for years or somebody that you trust.
Okay.
Definitely don't just think that you're going to be like, well, I'll try the cheap one from the store and then I'll go to you and try yours or try your suggestion. Try their suggestion first, then see the actual result that brings, and then you'll know if it was pure or not too, because you'll feel the result and you'll know in your own body and self like how your body reacted to it. Because I think a lot of aromatherapists now and people that are into essential oils are selling it as well. So I think that like pushes people back and like, well, if you're profiting from it, then you're just trying to push something on me because you're going to profit from it. But most likely that's not the case, because if we are trying to sell you something, it's because we believe in it and we know that it's good for you and that it works.
Okay. Yeah.
Obviously, there's people that maybe are just trying to make a quick buck, but for the most part, I haven't seen that that's the case. So I would say find somebody that you trust and that has a name like behind them, I guess. I use Young Living essential oils because, like I said, we tried different oils and we even went to an apothecary and spoke to an aromatherapist, and even still, they weren't like I couldn't use them.
I do have a question for when you're traveling, because I know a lot of these countries make it in maybe smaller areas, or they do the distilling process or whatever. So how can we know whether the oil is quality? Because like this one I've picked up in Indonesia, it smelled amazing, but I have no idea then if it's actually a good one or not. Because I mean, is there a way to test it or to check?
To test it on your own, I don't think so. But I would just maybe compare it to another one and see like your own little sniff test. I don't know. It's the world of information now. I feel like we can easily call the company or ask for customer service or representative or somebody, or even somebody that's used that oil online. Like, hey, has anybody used this oil? And they'll say like, well, yes, and give you some information. So I always feel like, yeah, we should reach out more to other people and ask, yeah, and seek out those communities. I have a few as well, and I'm in quite a few, and always people are asking and comparing, and they get a higher priced oil or different brands and compare it themselves. And quite a few YouTubers do it too, and they
Oh, okay.
compare. Yeah, they compare it, they try it, they compare it. So I think the information is out there definitely.
Can you explain to us how oils work and how they're effective, and maybe how to
Yeah,
apply them, or it probably depends on which one.
the amazing thing about essential oils is that they're not just a nice smell. When you look up the chemistry of essential oils and you see how people have studied what they do at a molecular level,
Okay.
the essential oils are actually made up of all these different types of molecules. And so those are the things that have characteristics that work in your body with your body. That's what makes them potent and powerful. So that's why it matters where you get them, because it does matter how you distill each different plant part, even for the different oils,
Wow.
to keep those chemical constituents in their most natural form possible, so that when you are using them, even inhaling them or using them topically, those molecules are tiny enough to go through your skin and into your bloodstream. So it's important to know what you're putting in your body, and you're not just getting a synthetic fragrance that is being called an essential oil because it smells nice, and maybe some percentage of it is pure, but the rest is filled with who knows what. So that's why it's important to get, a good quality essential oil, even if the price is a little bit like, whoa, why does that one cost $5 and this one costs 30? Those molecules are what works inside of your body. So when you inhale, there's 3 different ways you can use essential oils, and every school of aromatherapy will suggest different ways. So
Oh
the
no, that
most
sounds confusing.
yeah, the most common and accepted way to use essential oils is to use them aromatically. So if you look at the British school or French or German aromatherapy, most likely they will all agree that yes, you can use oils aromatically. The more strict ones will be like only under the care of an aromatherapist. So they will be very strict about that.
Okay.
But the more lenient will be like French aromatherapists, German will say, of course, if you use them under, different care and safety, then you can use them in your home regularly. So inhaling, it's as easy as or putting a drop in your palm
Okay.
and
So it's okay though to put
inhaling.
it directly onto your skin for your hands.
So that's number 2. Is obviously I'm doing it because I know that I'm not sensitive to this particular essential oil, and this is lavender, and lavender is generally known to be a gentle oil.
Okay.
Let me go back to finish the inhaling part. If you inhale it just like this, or in the diffuser, I don't know if you can see mine, it's glowing back there.
Well,
those molecules.
This is a diffuser. Huh? It's something like with the whole
nice. Those molecules are so light and small that as soon as they're dispersed in the air, your body can automatically inhale them, and your sense of smell triggers emotional release. Sometimes when you smell something, it takes you like a flashback to a memory.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, you're like, oh, that smells like whatever, a time when I went to, or like you're totally in that moment. So the sense of smell is powerful. I'm not saying that, oh, it's not just a nice smell, but it is like something amazing that's happening within you. So that's why people are saying use oils when you need like even drastic things, like you can't even sleep at all, or insomnia or something like that.
Okay. And lavender specifically is good for trying that if you can't sleep, for example?
Yeah, another thing is that everyone is different, right? So what works for me might not work so well for you. And like, for example, in my first trimester when I was pregnant, well, my last 2, I was pregnant using oils. I couldn't stand lavender in my first trimester. I couldn't stand any flowery aromas that I love. I love lavender and geranium. I love these. But when I was pregnant, my first trimester, ooh, girl, I could not be near these oils at all. But like citrus fresh or peppermint, and I'm talking specifically about inhaling them.
Okay.
Wow, I could have these around me all the time and actually help me with nausea or first trimester thing.
And different ones typically do different things, yeah? Or is it again, everybody is different and you just kind of have to see? Or is it typically?
Yeah, so there are known oils that can help you with specific things, and then there'll be like a list within that ailment or within that issue, and then you could be like, okay, well, I have that one and that one, so I'm going to try those first. Or you can make a collection and then use them and see which one helps you the most. Or you can blend them together and throw them all in the diffuser, 1 drop at a time, 1 drop each, and see how that helps you. So yeah, there's a variety of ways to use them. I would feel like there's no really wrong answer unless you're like really going off the wall and not using them safely at all, like drinking this like water. No, don't do that.
But inhaling is not going to be an issue generally then. Like that's a safe.
Yeah, inhaling usually is not an issue. But I've heard of people being like sensitive to certain oils, like tea tree. Like I have a friend whose husband is allergic to the plant itself, so he can't be around even the oil. So, but that's like really unheard of. So before you use oils topically, which is the second way to use them,
Mhm.
you can do a patch test. And obviously, if you're already having issues with like the aroma being around you, like, smell some coffee beans, get away from that, and try a different oil, or just take a break from them altogether. But the second way to use them topically, the first thing you want to do is a patch test, especially before you use them on small children. So a patch test is basically just if you want to use it neat means undiluted. If you want to try using it neat, make sure that it's an oil that's not a hot oil. What we consider hot on your skin is like cinnamon or clove, that like warm
Like,
feeling.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, like spicy. You don't want that on your skin, like oregano or rosemary or thyme or strong oils like that that are known to be hot. You don't want to do a skin test with those undiluted. You want to do a skin test with those diluted. But for example, lavender, that is known to be a gentle oil, and you want to know if you can use it neat on your skin. So the patch test, you just put it like on a sensitive spot, like your wrist,
Kind of the
and
inside of the wrist, like the thinner skin.
yeah, like the
Okay.
inside of your wrist. I mean, pretty much anywhere, but that's like the common place where you'll feel it right away. If
Mhm.
basically what you'll feel is like the burning sensation because your skin is pulling the oil in fast and
Okay.
it's like too much for your skin. So if you do feel that, and or if you get it in your eye or in your mouth, like don't wash it off, like don't put water on it. Water and oils don't mix, right? So
Right.
the oil will want to go deeper into your skin to get away from that water, and it's going to irritate it even more. So
Oh.
what you want to do is put a fatty oil, what we call a carrier oil, which
Okay.
is like any oil, any fatty oils is because the molecules are way bigger. Essential oils are like super teeny tiny molecules.
Mhm.
When you put on your skin, you don't feel oily at all. But
Sure.
when you put a carrier oil on your skin, coconut oil or olive oil, almond oil, it feels oily
Mhm.
because they don't go into your skin as quickly because the oil molecules are fatter.
Sure. So
So
you're
they're gonna
wiping it
help.
off essentially with the fatty oil then if you're having to.
Yeah, and you're slowing down that absorption.
Okay. And the
You're
carrier
slowing
oil,
down.
like the fatty oils are the carrier oils, correct? So if you're diluting something, you're using a carrier oil. Okay.
Exactly,
All right.
exactly. And there's charts to show you dilution rates like for different ages. But even that, use it as a guide, but even still do a patch test, even still like on yourself before you put it on the baby, and then do a patch test on the baby or young child, whatever, and
Mm.
make sure that, it's not going to be irritating.
And when would you want to be using topical?
Topical, like you have a muscle ache or joint ache, or like during labor, if you're having back labor, or like I rubbed it during labor all over my belly, like I
Okay.
was I was just going like this on my belly the whole time during my labor, my two last children.
What kind of oil did you use for that? Was it something to relax you? Was it something like something for pain? What was the?
Yeah, I had 3 blends I think that I used during labor and pregnancy. So the main one that I used throughout my pregnancy was just a very gentle whipped body butter that I made with lavender, frankincense, geranium, myrrh. Those are all very well-known oils for skincare. So I just made a blend with those and rubbed on my belly just for skincare
Like
throughout
stretch
the
marks?
pregnancy. Yeah,
Okay.
and yeah, I don't have any actually, and
Oh,
I've had
wow.
3 babies. So
Wow. Amazing.
yeah, thank God, because yeah, that was one thing that I know I grew up watching my mom and being proud of her and her scars and her stretch marks. But I also saw her having like trouble accepting that
Oh,
was how her body looked like. So I think I had that kind of thoughts in my head, like take care of your skin, take care of your skin, take care of your skin.
Okay.
So during labor, I had another blend. I had two blends. I had a perennial prep blend, and I had my labor blend. So the perennial prep was just to keep my perineum smooth and loose and just,
Was it only used then at the end when you're
lubricated.
pushing type of time?
I didn't have a pushing stage, but
We'll get to the
mine were
first
both.
pushing in the other episodes.
Yeah, mine were, all three of them were, I didn't have a pushing stage. I had like a hold on for your dear life stage because the baby's coming and there's nothing you can do about it.
So when did you use the perineum oil if there was?
Yeah, I told my husband to just dump it on. Just dump it all on. He's coming.
Oh, right at the end though, so okay.
Yeah. But before preparation, I think the last 4 weeks, because they were all born before 40 weeks. So I think the last 4 weeks I was using it for perineum massage.
The same one then.
An oil blend, diluted. Yeah, same one. And then the other labor blend had clary sage in it, which there is a list of oils not to use during pregnancy, especially. So clary sage is one that is not recommended to use during pregnancy, but during labor, yes. Like as soon as you know that you're in active labor, you can start using it because it's going to encourage, a good rhythm in labor. Like,
oh, interesting.
We all want that perfect rhythm, like contractions coming steady, progressing, closer, stronger.
Yeah.
The stronger part is scary, but you still want it. You still want that. So
it's more for the rhythm of it. It's not to bring on contractions right away.
There's a little bit of a misconception that people think that as soon as they ingest it or as soon as they put it on their skin or something grand is going to happen, like a magic pill. But that's not the case. You have to use things and do things steadily. Like if you want to lose weight, you have to have a steady and consistent diet or exercise or whatever it is that you're going to do that. Sure. Same thing with pregnancy and labor. You have to do things consistently and follow that rhythm and encourage that rhythm. So you're not just going to put it one time and it's going to I did help a few women during their they really needed, their time was ticking, they really needed, help. So, but I didn't just use the oil. Mm-hmm. Of course, I put the oil in the spots that it should be to help encourage labor to come on. But I also did a few other things spinning babies things, the three sisters and things like that. So I think it will help definitely, but it's not something that's going to be as soon as I put it on, my baby was born. Everybody is different and everybody will react to oils differently, and the amount that you need to use and how long you need to use it all vary.
Okay. And this is again another thing to research what you need, find a good source, maybe join a community that would be able to answer questions.
Yeah, talk to your doula. Doulas are getting more and more into, using essential oils, even though it's a little bit out of our scope, especially if we're not already into it. Mm-hmm. But as our resourceful, that's what we're here for.
Yeah, so, anything that's gonna help, right?
Yeah, anything. So, yeah.
And then the third way must be ingesting then. And there's only certain ones you can do that with. And is it also a case where you have to dilute everything to use?
Yeah, I think this is where it becomes a little bit controversial because people will be like, how dare you suggest somebody take oils internally? Okay. But it's always up to them.
Or what's the concern?
The concern is safety, but I will say also if you're not using an oil that's labeled for ingestion, mm-hmm. or if you're not taking it correctly or for the right reasons, I think there would be some question there, wait, why are you taking it internally for? So I think for pregnancy and for labor, I don't think it's necessary. There's no need to. So I wouldn't really suggest anyone to. I think I only used it in labor as a doula with a client one time, and that was to freshen her breath and the mom's breath and my breath because we were there for a long time. And that's pretty much, and it was like basically you don't even ingest it. I think I had a toothpick for them, but like if I'm out and about, I just put like a dab. Like I don't even put like the whole oil. I just go like that. I just dab it and then just like lick it, and it's not so fresh.
Really? I've never thought of using it as like a breath freshener. But
Yeah,
I do take the bad breath as a sign in labor, like, okay, they need some water and nutrients.
yeah. And this particular mama, she had gestational diabetes. So I think it was like very limited. They were trying to limit. I was trying to see her stuff, but you know they get the pinprick every like 30 minutes. So I was like, dang, if that thing goes up because I'm like giving her stuff, like let's just freshen your breath, woman. Let's just reset. Anyway, it's just a fun thing to do, and I feel like you can like I feel another way that I would tell people like try, and if you like it and it helps you, because I feel like during pregnancy and labor, like it's really hard to drink water and feel hydrated. So you can add like
And
you can get
breastfeeding, I think. Yeah.
oh my gosh, and breastfeeding, just it's you can add, pretend this is a toothpick, this is a pencil. You could just like touch the tip a little bit and then put it in your water, and then it kind of flavors it, and maybe it'll be easier to drink.
But now there's got to be certain ones, like just fruit type of ones you would use.
I'd say citrus, citrus oils, lemon, orange, and check the labels because the label will say, as far as Young Living oils at least, they have a whole different label. Their white labels are the ones that you know are okay to ingest. They're the same. It's funny because they're the same exact oil. Like if you get lemon with this white label that's for ingesting, or the regular solid colored label, they're the same oil inside of both.
Oh.
It's the same lemon, but they had to label it separately to clarify the use. I don't know, American FDA rules. I guess they were saying that if something is a fragrance, that it can't also be as a supplement. So they had to separate the two labels. I don't know, something like that. But that was years ago. Ingesting is, that's the third way, and I guess that's the main three ways to use essential oils.
Okay. Are there specific ones? You've mentioned a few now. Are there specific ones for labor, pregnancy, labor, and even postpartum that we should be aware of or maybe have on hand?
My top are citrus oils, any citrus oils. There was even studies on PubMed.gov. Like you can even search on there essential oils during pregnancy, and they did studies on women, like Google women and a control and all that research on essential oils. I think a specific one. I think it was a specific citrus oil. I want to say it was lemon or orange, and its effect on women during labor. And they said that they felt more relaxed. And
compared to
the ones that did, the ones that did use it compared to the ones who didn't have it. They felt more relaxed and they felt more at ease during their labor. So even during, and I feel like during pregnancy, I feel like it's the one that's going to make you the least nauseous.
Yeah, I've seen that you use that one specifically for nausea. Like I've had moms smell a citrusy one if they're starting to kind of vomit.
Yeah.
I had picked that up somewhere. I don't know. So I got a bottle, but I didn't know about the other properties of it. I've only ever thought it was for like nausea.
And so anything citrus. And then again, find somebody who maybe will even sit with you and let you smell them all. So what I did with a few of my clients who did want to use essential oils is that they got it themselves. They got their own kit. They have their own stuff. They didn't use mine. I went through it with them and just, like take out the ones that you shouldn't use while you're pregnant, like that have cinnamon or clover, strong oils like that. Take those out.
They're not just not good to put on, they're also not good to inhale.
I would say use caution. Yeah, use caution. Better safe than sorry. But it depends on the person, because for me, since I had been using them for such a long time and I had my other children with me, and I wanted to keep our environment clean or whatever, I did use, for example, a blend called Thieves, and that one is really well known for like cleaning the air and antibacterial and all of that. So I did use that. I did use that oil, and the cleaning products are all with that blend, and it was fine. I have 3 babies, just fine. You know, I think it just depends on the person and how comfortable you feel to use it or not. Get and smell them all, open all the oils, open them all, experience them all, pick your like top 3 and start there. You know, what are your top 3 oils? Like I love lavender, anything citrus. This is citrus fresh, so it's a blend of citrus and peppermint. Some people say don't use peppermint too much because it can.
While pregnant or at all?
Yeah, while pregnant and breastfeeding, because breastfeeding, some people are sensitive to it and it can lower your milk supply. And while pregnant, if you use too much of it, they say that it can make you crampy, like get cramps or Braxton Hicks or things like that.
Is there something that, like, as a birth worker or as like a facility or whatever the case is, are you not supposed to have oils for other people to use, or are people supposed to have their own? Or like,
Well, I think in the doula community, there's a little bit of controversy as well. There's always some controversy because they say that it's out of our scope to recommend something for women to use, like a product or something like that.
okay,
Even though, I don't know, we kind of do it all the time. But anyway, they say not to, and so that we shouldn't bring our own or use our own anything for the mother to eat or drink or oils or anything like that. So I think it just depends on how you work as a doula or who you learned under, who you got certified by, or things like that, how to use essential oils. But for me, I always told my clients, like it was part of my package, like they can include it or not. And so I would encourage them to order their own kit and have their own things and talk to if they were having a hospital birth, to make sure that they were allowed to bring their own things, and you know, to let them know in the birth plan or something that they were going to have oils and a diffuser, and that I would be the one to put it on for them or turn it on for them, but it was their stuff that they wanted in their birth plan, not like, and it was already spoken about and it was already included in the birth plan and the preparations, and we were all on the same level.
okay.
This is how it's.
And do you recommend for people who just want to use it for themselves, and like say even your clients who bought their kits, do they need to certify to use them, or is it like okay, so there's no.
Yeah, I think it's just a matter of experiencing them and using them and not being scared to use them. And for example, like when somebody buys oils from me, I send a 4-day email. As soon as they buy it, before their kit even arrives, they're already getting those emails with the information, safety, usage. I'm having these conversations with them. I have a group that they are added into in Facebook and Instagram that goes over safety, what's in their box, how to use it. And obviously, if they're pregnant, then I'll send them a whole different set of resources.
Okay.
And all this information is on the blog and in our book, Birthing with Heart. I included some of that information, and I have, I think, a 6-video series. Now I broke it up, but it was a really long Facebook Live that I did.
That's turned into 6 videos? Amazing. Okay.
Yeah, it was really long. So I broke it into 6 easy to digest videos with all this information, following a few books, a few resources, and it's only about pregnancy, birth, and postpartum, the oils to use, the oils to avoid, and how to use them in the different stages, which I recommend. Okay. And I have, probably like 4 blog posts on my website.
So how do people find you and find this information? What's the site, or what's the Facebook group name?
HeavenlyTreasure.net is my website, and you can just go to blog. I do have a page, I think it's called Prenatal Care, heavenlytreasure.net/prenatal prenatal links, I think it's called, and that's where I organize all the links nice and pretty, all just prenatal and pregnancy and home birth stories information there. You can read the book, Birthing with Heart. My chapters are 7 and 14. And there's information there. Yeah, there's plenty of resources. There's plenty of books that you can read and find with recipes, how to make your own roller bottles and dilution, which oils to avoid altogether, which to use with caution.
But just for pregnancy, because it's not like they obviously wouldn't be making oils that you need to avoid for life, right? There's not like a harmful one out there. It's just harmful at certain times or harmful in the wrong dosage, something like that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Just user error.
Okay.
And I'm on Instagram too. Instagram, my name on there is Heavenly Treasure Living, but I'm sure if you just type in Jenny Pena, my name will pop up too. I have Facebook, and I have a public Facebook group that anybody can join, and I do Tuesday talks in there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Are you covering the full range of essential oil conversations?
Yes, yes, we do. My sister and I, we're the most active in there, and then some of our community from our private group will go in there and share their testimonials. I have a units section with like previous classes I've done, sharing about the oils and easy to find information that I can just tag people in. But it's general information. Sometimes if there's questions, I'll answer specific things. But lately it's just been a lot of motherhood and how to stay sane in this crazy world. So that's what I've been sharing about lately. I think it's much needed. So I'll just show people how I sniff my oils to stay sane.
Okay, I have 2 more questions that are coming to mind. One is for kids and babies, how same thing, like we just have to look up to know what's safe, what's a good idea. Like, are there special ones that you feel like this always works if a baby has colic, for example? Any tricks like that? And the second question is, there seems to be lots of different applications for it. So like you can put it in a roller thing, you can use the diffuser, I think I've seen inhaler things for your nose. Okay, so what are all the different like applications, and is it something you can look up yourself and find recipes for and then make it try?
For sure. And like I said, I add all those resources are in our groups too. So I'm sure if I'm making those resources, other people are having them available too. But it always comes down to the two main ways of using essential oils, right? Inhaling. So you can think of all the different ways to inhale oils, like diffusing or making those diffuser stick, bamboo stick things, or a spray, spray the area, or making yourself a perfume. Any way that you can think of inhaling, like, or in a case of like labor, having a cotton ball and just having the oil on a cotton ball that you labeled somehow and inhaling it that way. And then the second way, topically, so all the different ways that you can use oils topically, like on a roller bottle or making your own body butters and balms and chapsticks. And I mean, people go all out and make foaming hand soaps and hand sanitizers, and they make shampoos and conditioners or hair treatments or facial treatments. Yeah, skin care, like for cleaning and, sanitizing and everything. So there's endless ways to use essential oil.
I didn't like the smell of a lotion that was gifted to me, so and tell me if this is wrong, I'll be okay with that. I put some essential oils in it directly. It was a citrusy type scent. Is that okay, or does it like break it down in some way that was bad?
I think it's okay, especially if you know that the ingredients in that lotion are like natural. Because sometimes if you're using like something that doesn't have a list of natural ingredients in it, and it has like something synthetic or petroleum-y or something like that, then you're susceptible to those oils creating like chemical reaction on your skin or something.
So if I didn't react, I'm safe, or should I throw it out? Because I'm quite sure.
I think you're safe. I think you're safe if you don't react to it. I think you're good. You don't look like you got any chemical burns or anything.
Well, it smells much better now. So I kept using it. I didn't want it to go to waste. It seemed like a very nice lotion. I just didn't care for the scent.
Good.
Um,
Yeah, no waste, no waste.
and then back to the baby. Are there certain ones that are really like great to have
Oh, right.
or something like
Yeah,
that?
sorry. Yeah, so there are oils to avoid with baby, and again, it depends on which aromatherapist or which resource you're looking, but they will mostly agree on don't use anything mentholy, menthol like wintergreen or even certain
Spearmint,
mints or
peppermint.
eucalyptus on the baby's chest or even like really strong around the baby. But then again, there's people that don't really care and they're like spraying this really strong fragrance perfume on themselves daily and holding their babies like this.
Mm,
And so it's like, so again, it depends, but definitely those are like the top don't use. And then again, hot oils like clove and cinnamon and oregano, and any way you don't want those like around like a little tiny baby, like has a little tiny nose.
they're
So
too
gentle
strong.
oils,
Okay.
yeah, they're just too strong and like you don't really need that, unless like the baby's really sick. But even still, like I still don't see a situation where you would really go for those oils. So it's just like also common sense, just because you have the oil, like you only have oregano or something, like you wouldn't think, oh yeah, I'm gonna use this on my baby. You think like, I don't know, what do you think first when you think of something you'd want to use on your baby? Like something gentle, something soft smelling, a
Okay.
flower, chamomile, something gentle. So my go-tos are like lavender
Hmm.
and copaiba are very gentle. Geranium is a very strong smelling flower, like the oil smells really strong on its own, but if you dilute it in a carrier oil like we were talking earlier, it calms that smell, the aroma,
Okay.
but keeps the property of being gentle on the baby's skin. If the baby's having like a diaper rash or something, or has like a cut, or I don't know, they scratch themselves. For digestive support, there's an oil. There are blends that you can find. For example, Young Living has one called Tummy Jize, and it's actually already diluted. And they even have one already in a roller bottle. But if you want to dilute it even more, you can. Obviously, do a patch test first,
Mhm.
then patch test the baby before you massage it on the baby.
Would you
And
massage
even
them just
just,
in the stomach, or would you use it for like a full baby body massage?
yeah, I would only do it on the stomach, that specific oil, because I don't think that you would really need to put it all over the baby's body. Maybe just on the feet, like on those reflexology spots on their feet. And then just, lightly on the belly, supply it. And you'd want to do it more than one time a day. Like I said, just because you do it one time, it's not going to magically like fix things. But that was one of the main reasons we got into it in the first place was for my daughter because she was very colicky and she was
Oh,
teething and
okay.
yeah, all those baby things. So we were like, okay, well, we don't know anything because we don't use medicine. So we didn't know anything. So then my husband was like, oh, I heard this herbalist talk about oils. And I'm like, yeah, you do that.
And did they
But
work?
then he
Like,
got
did
them.
he topically applied them to her stomach and it helped, or
Yeah, I just rubbed it on her. I rubbed it on myself too because I guess it was also food that I was eating that was affecting my milk. So I did other things like herbs and dietary wise
okay.
that helped everything. So it was like a holistic approach. It wasn't just magic pill oils. But yes, I did use them and I did massage her and I still massage my babies with them thanks to Mel and getting baby massage certified with Mel.
Oh,
Um,
cool. Okay.
yeah, so I was able to get my baby massage certification, and now I massage my baby. Well, she's not so baby anymore, but she'll be 2 in March, so I still call her a baby. And yeah, just take care to be sure to use a carrier oil that's okay for your baby. If they're allergic to nuts, don't use almond oil.
Is that the same thing?
Sunflower
Like, you shouldn't
oils.
use any type of nut carrot oil until they're one. Same way, like you wouldn't give them peanut butter or something like that. Actually,
Yeah,
no,
that
they
would be.
stopped the peanut butter thing, didn't they? It's just honey that they can't have now, I think.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. 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 You're right. But we didn't. Yeah, we were always very cautious with nuts. Anyway, it's such a common allergy. If it's common in your family, yeah, just take all the precautions. Like it's better to be safe than sorry. With my last baby, she was really great with all the oils, probably because I had already been using them for years, and
Oh, okay.
and they were fine. But I always still have, she picks up an oil, gets it in her eyeball, or I make a dilution and it's too strong on even my big kids. So then I still have to wipe them down, with coconut oil. It still happens because,
Okay.
like as you use them more and as you use them, you get comfortable and then you try something different, a different recipe, and it's like, okay, let me reduce that a little bit more.
And how can
So
you tell? They just get like a stingy feeling?
yeah, because one time, the time that I'm remembering right now, a few years back, I think in UAE there was like something going around, and I was like, okay, you guys are not going to get sick. And I made
It was
like maybe
preventative.
preventative,
Okay.
and rubbed their backs down and massage them, and then they were like started going like this and scratching. And, mommy, my back is itching.
Okay.
Okay, it's burning now. And then I look, and their skin is red. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I just grab the coconut oil. Don't freak out. It's gonna be okay. I just wipe their backs down like with a thick layer.
Yeah.
And sure enough, even the other day I was making a video, and my daughter came and grabbed the oil that I was showing them, and mommy, I said, oils, oils, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I need her to be quiet. I'm live. And yeah, sure enough, she got it in her eyeball, of course. And I'm
Oh,
talking and telling them, guys, it's okay. This happens. I tell my daughter, bring me the coconut oil. She brings it. Baby's still crying, and I'm wiping her with the coconut oil. 2
like
seconds later,
around the
she's.
eye? How do you manage that when they
Yeah, I mean, coconut oil, it's fine if you get it in your eye. So I was just like making sure it was getting in there. Nothing happens with coconut oil in your eyeball. Like, it just feels greasy. Like, my mom uses it to take her makeup off her eyes all the time.
I've
So,
seen that before. Okay. Interesting.
yeah, so it's fine. You get coconut oil. And then she was fine, and I was able to finish doing my video. So,
Okay.
see, yeah.
Happen.
I mean, anything that you get in your eyeball hurts, but
Yeah.
definitely essential oils will hurt more.
Oh,
But like I said, like, don't be scared to use them. We all still make, those mistakes, or kids, it's kind of unavoidable sometimes. And I want them to feel comfortable using them, and I want them to learn how to use them, and that this is going to happen. If mommy's telling you not to grab the oil, this is exactly why. Don't
yeah,
grab the oil.
of course. They don't always care about the reason for things.
The way that oils are distilled from different plants. I mean, it's amazing. Like, you can watch all these different videos about how each plant and part of the plant has to be even picked at a certain time of the day or night to get the most aromatic properties out of it. Ilang-ilang, for example, the flower. Its flower opens and the aroma is strongest at night.
Okay.
So at dawn, they have to harvest it as soon as they can to distill it right away. I think it's ylang-ylang that needs to be distilled right away. You can't even let it sit for long. It has to be taken from harvest to distillation to get that aroma. And the distillation for each plant has to be different. The temperature and the pressure has to be different for every single one. So you can't just have this machine set it done. No, like they have to distill it at a certain temperature to keep those chemical molecules that I was telling you, those chemical constituents, they'll break apart if you heat them up. And then those properties that are going to be beneficial for your body are no longer there.
Okay.
So there's different degrees of distillation, and these different oils at those different degrees of distillation are bought by different companies. So even those oils that may say they're pure, but at what stage of distillation were they bottled?
Okay.
At the purest pure, at the like, wow, those chemical molecules are in there are like, poof, That's why if you read about essential oil chemistry and lab testing, how many tests are done and all the different ways that they're done, it's like mind-blowing just to be able to read what the molecular structure, what molecules are in there, the components that should be in a natural component that can't be in synthetic, because in synthetic they try to repeat the same things over and over, right? Mm-hmm. To get the smell. But what about the other molecules that maybe don't have aroma, but have those beneficial properties for your body to be able to do whatever it is that you're using it for, soothe or respiratory support, hormonal support, whatever it is that you're using it for. If you heat an oil, you're breaking up those chemical constituents that are the purpose of using essential oils. So don't heat the oil. All that to say, don't burn oils on one of those candle burner things.
One of these.
Yeah, don't burn oils, please. The end.
Yeah, good to know. Because you would just think like, anyway, well, you did cover exactly how to use them all, but to understand the diffuser isn't actually heating the oil. It's just, I guess, releasing the aroma or releasing the oil somehow.
Yeah, releasing those molecules into the air. What they're called is volatile. And volatile means that they're so light that as soon as you open this bottle, those oils already dispersed into the air, because those molecules are so light that like, poof, they're in the air, Like if you leave a bottle open, it's going to get empty. If you leave a bottle open of coconut oil, it's not going to become empty because of that molecular structure. It's very light. Those molecules are tiny. There's a book called The Chemistry of Essential Oils. It was written by Dr. David Stewart, I think, chemist. Yeah, he goes into all of that. And I could only read half of the book because the other half was like, what are you even talking about? I don't understand. It's not coming in, because it was just like terpenes, monoterpenes, sesquiterpenes, ethyls, like all these words that's like, and then when you put this oil with this oil in it, it's like this percentage of terpenes and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Like, I wish I had someone to sit with me and like actually like
break it down.
Tell me what it all means.
Yeah, so funny. Yeah. So there's a lot to it anyhow.
Yeah, there's a lot to it, but at the same time, don't be scared to just open the bottles and put them in the diffuser or make a roller bottle. Mm. Yeah, that's why when people join our team or our community, whatever you want to call it, they use my referral link and they get my resources. I sent a whole like welcome box, and it has, roller bottle, spray, empty things, empty containers that they can start making their own, like start playing with it right away. Because I feel like the more blockages you have to not use them, the less you're going to use it. But so I try to break that barrier a little bit and like just, okay, when you order it and you use my referral link, you're going to get this box too. So right away you can start doing the things.
It's like a chemistry project for kids. Like when you're a child and you get these little science projects to try out.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like that. Like just have fun with it.
Yeah, exactly. Make a massage oil. Make, like people are getting so creative. They're like making bath bombs and like shower melts, or I don't know, just different things. It's like a bar, and then it's kind of like a bath bomb, but it isn't like fizz intense. And like you put it in the shower and it like melts slowly. So you're inhaling all these oils. Like example, if you need like respiratory support and you need like this break up the mucus or something, you put like a eucalyptus shower melt or something.
Oh, interesting.
I don't know. People are so creative.
I feel I read years ago to put drops in the bathtub and then take a shower. So the water hitting it would then release the scent or something like that, or the steam. I don't know. But then again, that might be heat. So maybe that was
in the bath. Yeah, oils in water is another story. Oils in water. So you need something like a soap base, or like people think also bath salts, like salt might help keep the oils together, but even still, like you'll see the oil sitting separate from the water. So you need to like put it in a soapy base, some sort of like bath gel or something. Like if you sit in a bath full of oil, the oil is gonna want to like come into your skin to escape with the water. So it might irritate your skin.
Okay.
So yeah,
Not
but
the best idea unless you have this other active ingredient that will help it.
yeah, something with soapy, like you can mix it in with the oils that'll make it stick together. I've done it before just using like salt and coconut oil and essential oils and just let them sit for longer before I dump them in the tub. Oh, the magnesium flakes. I don't know, have you used magnesium flakes before?
I've used the spray. I didn't know there was flakes.
Yeah, you buy them like a bag like this. I just would grab like a handful of the flakes and mix it with some oils and let it sit for a little bit, and then dump it in the bathtub. So
did it like bubble? What were the magnesium flakes for?
I used it when I was pregnant, I think with Ruby. Yeah, just to get magnesium in my body, just to help relax my body, get better sleep. I think it's supposed to help with like even how much you stay hydrated. Magnesium, I don't know.
Okay.
It's supposed to be really good for women too. I would use magnesium when I was pregnant with Jasmine. I had a drink that had, I think it was called Calm, and it was a powder, and it had magnesium in it too.
Oh, interesting. Okay. I want to like read a prenatal vitamins bottle now to see if it has magnesium, just because.
Most will have, I think MSM, I think it's a form of magnesium. I think, I want to say, maybe I'm wrong.
Okay.
But most prenatals have some sort of sulfur MSM or something. So it's similar.
Okay. Yeah. Well.
At least mine did. I know MSM is really good for building, your bones and your hair and cartilage and all of that. You know about MSM, right?
No.
And it's good for your skin and your skin recovery and building new skin and like new healthy skin. And it's good for your hair. It's good for your nails and yeah, rebuilding bones and stuff like that.
Okay. So kind of the regenerative effects.
Yeah. Look it up. MSM. It's important.
Okay, will do. Is there anything else you want us to know?
I can't think of anything right now, but like I said, I have the information on the website. There's books I recommend too, and all the links are there. I think that's all. I don't know. Did you have any other questions?
I didn't. No, and some of even what I had we kind of covered anyway, like just throughout the conversation. So I think, yeah, it was very informative, at least for me. So thank you very much.
Yay.
Great. All right. Thank you, Jenny.
Thank you, girl.